I'm Jordan Jones, managing editor at Bible Archaeology. A 1750-year-old witness to the Gospel of Matthew was recently discovered by Dr. Grigory Kessel during a study of undertexts in materials held by the Vatican Library. The newly found pages of undertext date to the 6th century CE and contain the Old Syriac translation of Matthew 11:30 through 12:26. The pages bearing the newly discovered text are what are called membra disjecta, or scattered fragments, meaning that the pages originally came from another ancient text, but were removed, and in this case resized, so they could be repurposed for a new manuscript. Because of the cost of parchment production and its scarcity in certain regions, it was not uncommon for ancient scribes to erase a text by scraping it off, so that new material could be written on the page, sometimes happening multiple times, creating what scholars call a palimpsest. However, because parchment is a porous material, it retains evidence of the ink deep within it, even after the text has been removed, creating the so-called undertexts, and these can be revealed when photographs are taken with UV light. Comparisons of this new textual witness to Matthew with other known Old Syriac versions of Matthew show that the newly found texts represent the fourth manuscript witness to the Old Syriac version of the Gospels, which was translated from Greek into Syriac in the 3rd century CE. This means these new witnesses attest to a translation of Matthew that predates the Greek version seen in Codex Sinaiticus, the oldest complete copy of the Greek New Testament, by 100 years, thereby giving us a new glimpse at the history of the text of Matthew and its transmission over time. While the text largely aligns with the critical text you're familiar with today, the version of Matthew 12:1 in this newly found Old Syriac undertext does show a glimpse of a textual variation. For while Greek versions of Matthew 12:1, like Codex Sinaiticus, read, "At that time Jesus went through the grain fields on the Sabbath. His disciples were hungry, and they began to pluck heads of grain and to eat." This new witness to the Old Syriac tradition reads, "They began to pick the heads of grain, rub them in their hands, and eat them." A minor change, yes, but a change that does cast the accusation of the Pharisees in verse 2 and Jesus' response in a different light. The researchers responsible for this find state that while it's too early to draw any definitive conclusions about what this find means for manuscript traditions or the transmission of the Gospels, as this discovery contains just 0.6% of the complete text of the four Gospels, they do believe that it should motivate scholars to increase their search for other witnesses to the Old Syriac tradition, as they could potentially reveal the Old Syriac version as a widespread and authoritative textual tradition that predated Codex Sinaiticus. Make sure to like and subscribe so you can stay up to date on everything Bible and archaeology. For all of us here at Bible and Archaeology, I'm Jordan Jones.